Gonna rent the Isaria. I don't think we can afford to buy it. And we will buy the bale forks though, because those we're gonna need on a fairly regular basis. We're gonna grab the Scout. We are gonna lease this. It cost us 867, £600 for these, so we'll buy those. Let's get this back up to the farm then, and we can start doing some scanning. Hello and welcome along, and welcome back to Haut Beyleron. We are doing a little bit of cleanup first thing today. We've got all of this flour sitting outside of our windmill, and I want to get it moved because, as you can see, we've got an awful lot stored inside the windmill itself. If we have a look in here, you can see we've got lots of flour coming out, both oat flour and barley flour. So we want to keep it coming through, keep it working through. We're going to sell it in December, and so we're gonna be loading this all up on a flatbed around then. I'm keeping an eye out for one in the sales so that we can borrow money to grab one if we can. But we do need to try and reduce, or at least restrict, how much money we're borrowing in order to make sure that we have a good cash flow, better cash flow than we've had on some other series. We have a few other bits and pieces to do today. We need to get all these bales off our fields, so I'm going to grab a bale spike to do that. I do know that I can use the front forks to do that, but I'd rather not. It's a little bit cheaty to me. I'd rather have a set of bale forks to move my bales with and not stick the giant paddles of these in here. So yeah, we want to keep that going. And then we need to get an Isaria. We need to scan the fields and get the precision farming stuff working on here, because next year's crops we want to get as best we can with precision farming. And I think, as I was saying last time, we might split next year's crops, seeing as we have this. We can still plant canola at the moment. I think September is still a month where we can plant canola. Yes, just. So we've got a little bit of time where we can get that planted. And so I think we might be trying to turn things around and get that done fairly quickly as well. So lots to do today, lots to get done. And of course, in the shop, something useful has turned up in the form of a John Deere 7810 for 50,000. But it's useful long term, it's not useful immediately, and we kind of need to save the money and not go spending it on frivolous things. At the moment, a single tractor is good enough for us, and I don't want to go out there and get the 7810 just for the sake of getting the 7810. Final pallet of flour, and this makes a total of 18 now that we've got, so 18,000 litres of flour for our bakery. Now, the one thing that does worry me slightly is if the bakery is unable to take all of this and process all of this. We are basically going to take this down to the bakery and sell it down there, and then hopefully buy the bakery while it's still processing. And that way, be able to get a load of bread out of our flour. Now, let's have a look at this. Price of flour, there we go, at the bakery is £884. Price fluctuations, it can go as high as 1,200 in December. We are very much at a low at the moment. The bakery itself, if we go and have a look at that, that costs 50,000. So yeah, we need 50,000 litres in order to buy that. I think what we'll probably do is drop as much of the flour off as we can here, make as much money off it as we can, and then borrow the rest to buy the bakery. I think that sounds like a fairly good trade-off. For now, though, we need to get the forks off this, head down the shop. I think we're going to go and pick up the Isaria and get that so that we can scan these fields along with a bale spike so that we can start getting the actual bales off the fields as well. And then what we've got to look at after that is probably starting to get these fields planted, especially if one of them we're going to do canola for canola oil. We want to get that sorted as quickly as possible. Approaching down to the shop now, and we're just gonna, I think we're gonna rent the Isaria. I don't think we can afford to buy it, and we will buy the bale forks though, because those we're gonna need on a fairly regular basis. None of our stuff we're looking to sell till December is the thing. So let's pop into the shop here and we'll start off with the front loader tools and grab ourselves a set of bale forks. Double check that we haven't got any. Double check we haven't got any alternatives as well. Well, we've got those, but those aren't. Oh, those are very expensive compared to the £600 for these. So we'll buy those. And then we need the Scout, which should be under miscellaneous, I believe. Yeah, there it is. So this is going to have to be borrowed. I think we already have that built into our... Yeah, we already have that built into our tractor. So we're going to grab the Scout. We are going to lease this. It cost us 867, but that's all right. It's a short-term use. So let's go and reverse up and grab the Scout first. And then we'll grab the bale spike. And we can just start scanning our fields. We could actually scan our fields and move bales at the same time, which would be quite something, I think. I think one job at a time is probably a wise way to go, though. Let's hook this up. Ah, there we go. I had the front loader it the wrong way. There we are. Right. Let's get this back up to the farm then, and we can start doing some scanning. I don't think there's any way we can get away with not having to borrow some money to progress. I mean, we could take longer to do everything and, you know, go through another harvest season before and then not borrow money to get to the bakery. But I think it would... I don't think it would work for us. We'd take just forever to do it. So, yeah, I want to try and avoid that. We've not connected any of these up. And we do have space to borrow some cash. We've only got about 200 and... I think it's 230 or 280 pound, £1,000 loan on here. £285,000 loan. So we are well below the £500,000 loan. In fact, for a Start from Scratch series, we've only borrowed 85,000 for our farm. We could buy another field, really, if we wanted. So I'm very, very aware that this is, for us, a very low loan game save at the moment, which is quite cool. I mean, it's not often that I make lots of progression without borrowing much money at all. And yeah, so 50,000 for the tractor suddenly doesn't seem so bad, but I need to resist things like that. If I'm going to do a really good Start from Scratch and you know, really do well at this, having not borrowing money when I'm really tempted to, it has to be something I do, because we don't need it. I don't need to borrow the money for that. If we're investing in something like the bakery, where it is going to turn what we've got into extra cash, I think it's worth it. But as I said before, it's got to be one of those things where it balances out, where we have a where that investment pays for itself. Hence, wanting to drop off the flour first. If we can drop off the flour, get that processing, and make money from that before we buy the bakery, that's going to give us twice as much cash. Similarly, if I can find any harvesting contracts that allow us to go into our windmill. That doubles up on the harvesting contracts amount of money. So yeah, I'm liking that all round as a strategy for this. And hopefully doing this is going to give us even more of a boost overall, and possibly increase the amount of crop that we get into our windmill in the first place. The trick with this scout is to try and get as much coverage in as few samples as possible. I've not 100% succeeded here. Because, yeah, I'm going to have to get this last section of the field in 2 goes, in 2 parts. And I've got a tiny bit up the top of the field where I've not got a scan for it, which is annoying. But we have covered 99% of the field, which is good. Yeah, we'll get this last patch here. Make it easier on ourselves with that. How many samples have we taken so far to get field 20? That'd be under here. 16. So 16 samples. I'm going to see if I can get our other field done in 4. It's a much smaller field, but it might be a bit trickier to do. I can get the very corner. I don't know. It's not going to be many. We can certainly get towards the center of the field. Yeah, we managed to get all 4 corners like this. We might actually get this in 4 samples. Otherwise, I think it's going to be 5 looking at the overall shape and dimensions of this field. So, down there. Get that there. I think we can move in a little bit. Wow. We might get a really good coverage from this side here. Oh, no. I've got to back up a bit. It can be very, very difficult to get exactly where you want. But that should be a good enough sample to get most of this part of the field. Then it's just going to be getting into that bottom corner. And it's can we get enough overlap into this bottom corner to also get halfway up the field and get enough coverage further up. Oh wow, yes we can. About here-ish, but back up a little bit. So there should do it. We might actually get this in 4 samples. That would be amazing. Oh, we sampled a little bit of the field next door. Never mind. Not our field yet. But look at that. Oh, that has gone much better than the previous field. 4 samples, all in all 4 corners, taking our total number of samples to 20. And yeah, just a really good coverage. Right, let's send these soil samples off for analysis and see what we get back. I'm hoping we're going to have some good yields with some nice loam across these fields. So soil samples off. Do we have to? We have to actually. Oh no, there we go. Send soils for analysis. Why? Yep, perfect. In the meantime, we're going to drop this off and go start getting some bales off these fields. So, £2,000 our soil samples cost. That's not bad. Let's have a look at what we get out of this. So, oh, wow. So, field 17 is absolutely brilliant. That is almost entirely loam. Field 20 is almost entirely silty clay. That's horrible. Is there a boost on that? Let's have a look on the actual sales. What's the... Yeah, that's a minus 93. That's a plus 121. Just looking at the other opportunities. So field 19, which would be way out of price range. How much is that? That is 242. That is 377. That is 130 for field 14. Much smaller field, though, is the only thing. Yeah, I think it's going to be worth looking around and going, oh, wow, that is all silty clay. Yeah. 14 is not a bad choice as far as close fields to us go. But I think we'd have to expand that if we did. Right, I need to get these bales off these fields, especially this lower one. We want to start getting ready to do some planting. Last 2 bales off our smaller field, and I found somewhere fairly good to get them stacked, which is great. They're worth at their peak about £86 per 1,000 litre. These are 5,000 litre bales we've got here. So we're looking around about £430 per bale here. So they're not worth a massive amount, but it is worth keeping hold of because they're only worth about £68 per 1,000 litres at the moment. So there's a fair way to go. Fortunately, we have quite a lot of bales. We worked out last time, I think we ended up with 50 bales. So that's really, really good. How many have we got on here? Oh, no, that's not quite right. Stacking around bales is always fun. Especially if you can get them. Yeah, you see, if you lift the front of your tractor off, the other bales come with it way too easily. Right, let's get the pressure off this. Disconnect our front because I think we've got a stuck bale. Yeah, we have. Right, there we go. And then lift up again. No. Ah! It can cause the whole stack to just go awry if you're not careful. It's why lots of people stack them end on. But there we go. Little bit of jiggling around and we've got it. Right, so we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 bales off there. So 40 more bales to collect off our other field. Ooh, that's a lot of bales we've got to store. And yeah, I could have done it in a barn, but I decided we're just going to stick them there. And we should be able to get this in sort of a 3 deep stack with any luck. We'll see how we go. I'm just going to grab a single bale, though, to start with, just to finish off that row. We've got about half our bales stacked so far. This will take us up to 25 with these 2. Just want to try and get them. Oh, careful. Don't want to send the entire stack flying. But yeah, this will take us up to 25, getting these 2 on here. When you start catching other bales on the pile, it can get a little bit hairy, but there we are. Those are in that. So we need, again, a single bale to go on the end of this row, and then I can do another 4 bales on top. That will take us up to 30 bales in total. So we're getting about 15 a line at the moment, which is good. With 50 bales, that means we're going to get this all here in 3 sets plus 5 bales over. So what I might do is put some more bales on the top. We can fit 3 on the top of that first stack. And yeah, that would then make 6, which would mean that we wouldn't have a complete 4th set, which would be good. Because we are running out of a little bit of space here. So 4 stacks high seems to be a good way to go, as long as the bales will take it. So let's just get that on here. They do seem to be stacking fairly well and taking this fairly easily, so that's good. So yeah, I think we'll go one more high, and that way we'll get every bale into 3 rows here. One thing I've found about round bales, ever since I first stacked them in FS15, is that it's much easier to stack round bales badly, but they are more forgiving when you do it. So they will jostle into place fairly nicely and settle down fairly well if you stack them badly. Whereas square bales are much easier to stack neatly, but if you stack them badly, if you don't get a neat stack, are far less forgiving. They will explode everywhere. So yeah, this is why I tend to like round bales quite a bit. They work out well for me more often than not. But it is just trying to make sure that you stack them as well as you can, so that they can then... Oh no, we've lost the back ones. But you see, they've still sort of slid into a better position, or into a usable position at the back, even though jostling them has lost those back ones. Yeah, we've got one that's fallen into an odd position. Otherwise, they've just rolled into place. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We stacked them badly, but they jostled themselves into a more suitable setup. It's such a weird thing with them. So many bales left on this field, and it really has taken all day to get these collected up. And a fair amount of fuel, but not too bad. I expected my fuel gauge to drop a lot faster and a lot lower, to be honest, doing all this running backwards and forwards. Has saved us a load of money doing it this way. We've not had to buy the trailer. One thing I did calculate while we were doing this is that we should get about 20 to 25,000 from doing this. It won't quite be 25,000 because that would need to be 500 pound a bale. We're only going to get about 480, 460 ish. So yeah, it's going to be closer to sort of 22,000. But if we have a look at the price of bale trailers, bale loaders here, 19,500, 21,500, 16,000, 20,000. That might be a good one. So yeah, there's a few here that will be really useful for us, that this stack of bales will pay for. Admittedly, we'll probably have to borrow the money to get the trailer in the first place, but we'll be able to immediately pay it back when we sell these bales. So yeah, that will be the plan. Borrow the money and then immediately pay it back as soon as we've sold these bales. If we're lucky, we might even get one of those trailers on offer used, which would be perfect. We would save even more and make a profit from all these bales that we got on this field, on these 2 fields, which would be fantastic. Been quite a relaxing afternoon, sort of driving backwards and forwards, getting all these bales off this field and getting them stacked up. Something I need to watch out for is, I completely forgot, this is a multi-fruit silo. One of my bales rolled off the pile and has rolled into the silos. So we've now got 5,151 litres of straw in the silo. I have no idea where the 151 litres came from, because these are 5,000 litre bales. So yeah, we've got either part of one of our bales has fallen in, or why it wouldn't take an entire bale. If that's the case, I don't know, but I need to be careful with this stack because I don't want to lose any more bales into there. Trying to go slowly here. There we go. So yeah, we're getting close though to completing this. We've got about 8 bales left on the field, I think. So we're going to get those cleared up and get them back. And then we're going to be done for the day. And as it's 6 o'clock, that's a good thing, I think. As the sun sets once again on Haut Beyleron, we have our last bale off this field. That is pretty spectacular, that. Look at that. So, yeah, it is 20 past 7 in the evening. We have got all 50 bales off the field. Oh, I think I'm going to put a gateway in at this point here. It is directly opposite our gateway to our farm and would actually be a really great way to access that field. You can see here we've got a fairly mishmashy pile of bales here, but we do have a pile of bales here. And yeah, I think that's done pretty well for the day, to be honest. We'll put one more on the front here. Careful as we're going down a slope loading them up. This is not the best place to be putting bales, to be honest. Gonna get that on there a little more securely. There we go. If I manage to not make the entire pile collapse in the last 30 seconds of this video, that would be great. The last thing we need to do today is in our shed. We've still got the Isaria Scout, so down with that. All that off and the lights off on that. So we need to get this returned, otherwise we're going to get charged for it for a second day. Leased items, Scout, return. There we go. And what we're going to need for next time is going to be a seeder. I want a direct seeder, so that would be a direct seeder. So that's 33,000, 42,000. We are going to have to borrow a fair whack, I think. 41,000. Yeah, neither of these are direct seeders, so they're not any good for us, even at that, even at those prices. Maybe the Potinger. That is a 3-meter one. That is a 3-meter. Yeah, they're all 3 meters, but they are all direct seeders. This does have the HK25 on it. Yeah, that is all pretty good. That is a nice one as well, but it's 50,000. So yeah, we will see what comes up. Maybe if we're lucky, something will appear in here. Nothing so far, and that John Deere is still there. Teasing me, but with our large pile of flour here waiting to be sold, our large pile of bales waiting to be sold, and very little money in the bank, we're gonna head into the next day and probably try and get something seeded on here. For now though, all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.